All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Blue Yellow Ace. This should be a fun video. This is not something that I came up with, but I will explain that more as we get into today's video. But first things first, let me go ahead and tell you guys what we're going to be getting into today. The very first thing we're going to get into is we're going to be heading over to the lab. We're going to be checking out a game of Carrot versus Zooro. That should be very interesting. A little bit of carrot action as well in today's video, right? So we'll be checking that out on the lab. From there, we're going to do the 3 games I have prepared for us on the sim of Blue Yellow Ace. And then we will talk about the deck list after that. We'll kind of break it down and wrap up that whole portion of the video in that way. And then after that, we will do a art critique. Okay, we have not done an art critique on the channel in some time. So we'll knock that out as well. Okay, guys? Now, I will have everything time-stamped in the general description. Free to just skip around to whatever part you want to check out for today's video. And I will have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comments section below. All right? All right, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into this. You know what you're getting into. Let's do this. So, first things first. We've got a game on the lab. Okay, or we've got this portion of the video we call the lab. For any of the new listeners out there, you might be wondering, well, what is the lab? Well, this very first part of my videos I usually dedicate to basically community-submitted games where people will submit their gameplay to me and I review it on one of my videos. If you are interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's very simple. All you have to do is record your game, record the game you want me to review, upload it to YouTube, and then hop on the VV Theory Discord. And when you're there, all you have to do is post the link to your video in the Review My Games channel. I have a channel called Review My Game, and you can post it in there. And as soon as I see it, I give you the thumbs up, and I throw you in line, and then it's just whenever it's your turn in line, you're up. And just for anyone who is wondering, I don't pick and choose like which one I do next. I just go straight in line, just so everybody's aware of that. So that way, hey, it's, we're never... I don't want people to have gone twice in a row before anyone's even gone once kind of thing. I'm trying to keep it fair in that way, if that makes sense. I know that was a little bit clumsy. Hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this. And if you have any questions on that, one more thing. If you have any questions on that as a newer player, just ask in the comment section below or on the Discord, and I should be able to help you from there, or somebody will. Okay, now, let's do this. Let's get into this game. The volume is off. Speed is on 2x. The quality is as high as it will go. And here we go. So, guys, we got a game here of Carrot versus Zooro. I can imagine Carrot's probably kind of decent into aggro because it has a lot of ways to rest down characters so they can't go too wide. And it's a 5-life leader, and it also has ways to lock characters down. So I could imagine this being a pretty decent deck into Zooro, but I don't know how this game goes, and I've never seen this kind of matchup. At least I don't remember. Maybe I haven't. Not this game. I have not seen this game, but I don't remember ever seeing a Carrot versus Zooro matchup. Okay, well, they can choose to rest a character now. First, they're going to use a baby 5 to do a top 5 search. They're going to grab a whoever wins this war becomes justice, or however it's worded. They're going to rest down a character with their leader effect that costs 5 or less, so very easy. And then they're going to swing 6 into that character. Very nice. I would not chance swinging in with the Wanda. I 100% agree with that. For those who are not aware, excuse me, let me pause this real quick. For those who are not aware, the way that Carrot works is you do have to have a Minx character on the board in order to rest down a 5-cost or lower character. So kind of annoying, that stipulation on there, but not a big deal. You can play out the searcher and hopefully it sticks and you can go about things in that way. Okay. So now they're going to swing 3 into 1 with the Nami. That's perfect. So that way, we can swing into it next turn anyway. They're going to swing in for 6 into 5 here. I would... Oh, we actually don't have any 2K counters in hand, do we? Oh, no, we did. I'm sorry. I think, yeah, we did have a 2K counter on the far left there. I would have probably... So pause real quick. I would have probably used the 2K counter in that situation because you don't want your life to dip too low against the aggro decks, against aggro matchups, because if they just put down, if you get down to 0 life and they Diablo Zombie and swing past your blockers, it becomes very hard to block out of that. But okay, so we're going to swing 5 into 5 here, and we have a 5-Dawn play follow-up with the, I think his name is Inuarashi, and he's going to be able to lock down both characters, which is going to be very powerful. Or we could do the Bonnie. We could also do the Bonnie. Let's see what happens here. So 5 into 5, and then it's going to probably be 2 into 2. Let's see if they want to give us anything here. Okay, so now we can just play out the Carrot. That's perfect. I didn't even see the Carrot, guys. I didn't even recognize it. I had to put my glasses back on to actually see it. Yeah, so now they play out the Carrot to lock down the Zooro. But if they had saved the Nami, they could have used the Inarashi to lock down both characters. Okay, so they play out the Chopper, cheating out the 3 cost 4K Chopper. Let's see if they did not cheat out another character with the other Chopper's effect, so that's good. They smash 5 into Wanda, not a big deal. We'll just let that go. They play out the Chopper. Okay, so at this point here, I think we should use the leader effect to rest the 3 cost 5K Chopper, and that's what we're going to do. Very nice. Yep. And now I think we should attack everything into the board here that we can, and then we can play out the other Inarashi. So 6 into 4, that's going to cost 2K over the threshold to save, or 3K over, excuse me, to save it. And then 7 into 5, very good. They're going to use the blocker here more than likely. Yep, exactly as we thought. And now, I mean, I do like playing out the Inarashi here. Yeah, absolutely. So there was a question there, guys. There was actually an option there to just play out the Bonnie, because the what's his name? The Zooro was already locked down. The Zooro was not going to be standing up for the turn because of the attack from the carrot. Okay, so it's like, okay, well, we only have to worry about locking down one more character, and Inarashi locks down 2 characters. So there was a question there, like, well, maybe I should develop the Bonnie. Technically, you could, but I think it's smarter to develop the Inarashi, because that's a Minx character. So if they do get rid of your carrot this turn, you'll still be able to have access to your leader effect next turn. Okay, so good stuff here. Now, we do have a lot of counter power. See them over there counting. You can see down at the bottom they were counting their counter power. I don't think we're going to lose this carrot here. Oh, well, okay. I say that, and then they play out actual hard removal. I was going to say, I don't think we're going to lose the character to attacks this turn, but hey, if they're going to swing in like that, yeah, we can't protect that. Okay, we're on a 9 Dawn turn. Okay, our Inarashi is only a 4K now. Okay, this is not as good. We're in a rough situation. We're in a very rough situation as the carrot player. And remember, our leader, or our opponent, is still at 5 life. They have a full board. We have to start attacking this board. This would have been an absolutely perfect turn for Don Quixote do Flamingo, but we don't have enough Dawn. So I think right here, maybe we develop the, yeah, maybe this, okay, going Zhao and then maybe using the Jewelry Bonnie. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, just smash in for, what will that be? It'll be 4, so maybe swing 6K into the Chopper. Okay, that was nice. Trying to bluff, like, hey, don't save your character. Very good. I like. So, Paul. So what happened there? That was actually a very high IQ play there. What were they doing? So the Zooro will, like, 9 times out of 10 defend the Chopper, but defending Zoro is not as relevant, right? So even if they had a 2K counter in hand, they probably weren't going to use it to save the Zooro. And now we get to play out the Bonnie and keep the Chopper locked down. Now, who knows? Maybe they just didn't have any counter in hand. It's very possible. But I did like that play quite a bit because it kind of forced a certain interaction from our opponent. Now, because we developed Zhao, the stage, we can stand our Inarashi up at the end of turn. I don't know if that's the best thing or not in this situation, because I think it actually would be it would be better if they attacked into our Inarashi, because then he could kind of act as a pseudo blocker. But who knows? We don't know what the Zooro players got planned for us here. Okay, so 10 Dawn turn here. They have 2 attacks on the board. We're at 3 life. We have a decent amount of counter power in hand. We do have a Electrical Luna, but it's not going to help us versus the Rayleigh. It can only keep 7 costs for lower characters tapped down. Okay, that hurts. We might be going down pretty low here. Okay, no, we're gonna 0 cost 3K and 2K counter to get out of it, which means we're probably going to be taking this hit from the Zooro. Okay, let's see what they do here. They're going to play out another Zooro. We have a 2K counter. Excellent. We do have the 2K counter there. And then we're going to take the final hit from the leader. They have 1 Dawn active. And I think this turn we have to start, I think we have to play out the 10 cost Do Flamingo here. Electrical Luna does lock down 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we play out Do Flamingo. Do Flamingo locks down 3 no matter what. And you get to choose the targets. So 5 into 5, 6 into 5. Yep, this should go through. Now we go 6 into the other 5 here. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. I was going to say, wait a minute. Okay, so that way we could go 7. Very nice. I forgot about the stage. I do not play much. Oh, do they have 1 cost? Do they have a Radical Beam? Oh, wow. So they had the event. The event is called Shut Up and Come With Us. and it whiffed. They did not get a search there, and that is probably going to cost them big time, right? Because now they can't potentially swing for lethal if they top decked a rusher for the turn. But their entire board is locked down now. Very good stuff there. The Zao was massive. Okay, so what are they going to do here? They've got one card in their hand, and I would really feel comfortable if we got a blocker. Okay, well, we can rest that thing down with our leader effect. Yep, right away, so that thing's going down. And we top-decked another Doflamingo. Let's go. I would honestly use it here. I would clear the entire board. Yep, just like you're doing. Excellent. Clear out the entire board here, and then play out the Doflamingo and lock down the leader and go for lethal next game. Or, excuse me, go for lethal next turn. Okay, swing 6 into 4. Absolutely. Yep, that's the right call in my opinion. Absolutely. And then 10 into 8. Later. And then we're going to swing in for I would swing in one time here. We'll give them one card in hand, so that way next turn we can just go for lethal. Absolutely. Stand up Inarashi, that's fine. Not a big deal. They just passed. I don't know if they're conceding or what. Or maybe they only have events in their hand. Let's try to remember those first 2 cards on the left of their hand there. We'll check that out at the end of the game if it shows it. Okay, yep. So we did 5, and the guy took it. So now we're going to go 9, 11, 11. Okay, or 9, 10, 12. Okay, very good. All right, good game. Okay, so the top cards that he picked was a Correja and then a Diable Jambe. Wow. So that was his first 2 cards he got. And then he got a Zooro, into another Correja, into a Tony Chopper. That was awesome. That looked kind of scary for a minute there. And guys, that's why I'm always like, I don't want to say preaching about it, but like, I'm always trying to say that 10-cost Doflamingo is a game-winning card, right? It is a card that comes into play, and on play, it affects the entire board, or at least 3 cards on the board, right? Potentially up to 3 cards. Whereas, like, the 9-cost Zooro has its applications. Same thing with a 10-cost Kaido, the blue 10-cost draw 4 Kaido. Those cards have applications that can allow them to really push you into the lead if it's kind of like a fair stalemate. But guys, when you're up against the ropes and you need a card to bail you out, few cards are as good as the 10-cost Doflamingo. That thing locked down 3 bodies. One was an actual leader. One was the leader, and the others were 2 relevant sized bodies. Then we started top decking Doflamingo into Doflamingo into Doflamingo. We'll take it every time. That was really good stuff there. I didn't see any real mistakes there. It looks really good. Let me go back to the beginning. Yeah, playing out the Wanda and then following up, with the Searcher. I thought that was great. Oh, there was only one thing that I would have considered countering out of early, and this is just me. I think it was right here. Let me hit play and fast forward a little bit. It's when we look. It was right here, yeah. So when they swung in for 6, okay, but then, yeah, no. So I agree with taking one of those hits. Absolutely, we should have taken one of them. And the second one, I would have 2K countered out of, but in the end, that really didn't matter much, right? It really didn't matter that much. Really good game. That was a great submission. A lot to learn there. Carrot, like I said, and I by the way, one more thing I do want to say before we move on is that Zooro, he had a pretty great pull. All things considered, it was very aggressive, but it did whiff. I think it did whiff 1 or 2 searches, which is not a big deal, but hey, that was a pretty good showing there. I wonder how Carrot does on average versus Zooro. Does it have like a 50-50 win rate against it? I don't know, guys, because I'm not a green player. For those who are wondering, I do not play much green almost at all. Okay, now, let's go ahead and move on. Y'all give me a second to get set up real quick. We're going to be moving straight over to the sim and checking out some games of Blue, Yellow, Ace now. Okay, so this will be me playing. Let me forgot to take off the that thing. There we go. Let's say, wait, what's going on here? Something didn't look right. All right, there we go. That's good enough. So we're going to be playing a game here, or 3 games of Blue, Yellow, Ace. Now, this is me piloting a deck that I did not come up with, and I'm going to give the shout out to them once we get to the deck building part of the video. This is a really cool version of Ace that actually focuses more on life gain and not the combos with the 2-cost, 5-cost combos. So keep your eye on that. Don't be expecting like, hey, when are you going to draw 2-cost, or when are you going to start playing cards from life? It's not even an option in this deck. So check this out, guys. This is a pretty interesting take on Blue, Yellow, Ace. I got to adjust my camera just a little bit, guys. That OCD, it just rears its ugly head every now and then. Okay, so the volume is off, the speed is on 2x, and now we're good to go. First game here we got against Blue Purple Croc. I think that guys, I messed around with this leader not too long ago. If I remember, I'll put the link down in the comment section below. I think the 7 Warlords of the Sea with Baroque Works support is actually really good in Blue Purple Croc. I think it's actually like pretty decent. Okay, so they swing for 6. I give him a 2K counter there. Okay, already, hang on. So I had a mistake here. So I'm still learning how to play the deck, and I had a mistake there. The best turn 1 play with this version of the deck is Sanji. That 2-cost Sanji basically says draw a card, gain a life. Okay, and it's a 2K counter later in the game. So understand that was an absolute play mistake. There's no way around it, but that was before I really understood what this deck was trying to do. This is one of my first games with the deck. Just understand that. And I will say this right now. Not an easy deck to play, okay, guys? Not an easy deck to play at all, but a very rewarding deck once you learn how to play it. Okay, so they're going to swing in for 6. I give them the 2K counter. Now we're caught back up. I'm going to swing in for 5. I'm going to develop a Kikinojo. Nothing special here. I'm almost like, this would have almost played like a mid-range deck. If I had gone turn 1 Sanji into turn 2 Kikinojo, and then turn 3 I could, start doing things. Or I didn't have to play out the Kikinojo at that point. I could have drawn a card. Okay, so we get a Shirahoshi, draw 3, trash 2. Very good. Develop a body. They go ahead and play. They develop a body of their own. They play out the Miss All Sunday. So we're going to swing in for 7. 7 is actually not the worst number for this deck to counter out of, the Blue Purple Crocodile deck, because they run a lot of the 0-cost 3K events. At least typically. But he doesn't have a Dawn on his leader, so he can't draw a card from the effect. So I swung in for 7. He pushes the Kikinojo back to my hand. I'm going to do a top 5 search. I reveal a Denjiro. Then I play out my Viola to put it face down. And I just gained a life. So do you guys understand? Let me pause real quick. What's going on here? So this deck is not focused on comboing the 5-cost characters into life with the 2-cost characters in hand. It's not trying to do that. I mean, that was a 2-cost character, Viola. But that was just trying to turn a card face down no matter what it was. So now I know the top card of my life is a Denjiro. I have a blocker on the board, and I still have plenty of cards in hand to work with. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. And because there's a lot of trigger interactions in here, 5-cost Nami is actually very good in this deck, right? This is a deck, we'll talk about it more when we get to the end of the video, but I think this is a deck that will really benefit from a card like, what's it called? Dureshi from OP09. Okay, so they're swinging in for 5. I know what the top card of my life is, but I also don't want to take damage for no reason. I'm going to go ahead and 1K counter out of this and go down to my hand size, just in case he is running Pudding. You never know. I don't know if this guy's running Pudding or not. So he's going to swing in for 6 here. Again, I'm not in any rush. He has 7 Dawn active. Do y'all see what's going on here? 7 Dawn active. I'm like, okay, if he has Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, go ahead and use it now to get it out of the way. Because that would kind of be a waste of their turn, right? Because they won't develop anything. Instead, they play out the 7-cost Crocodile. So this is OP09, guys. This is OP09 League of what we're watching right now. Right here, I think I'm going to attach 1 Dawn. Hang on, I'm actually trying to figure out what I want to do. Yeah, swing 7 into 5 here. There's actually a idea, like we can push cards back to their hand with the Jozu. But I think I'm going to try to get this card off the board, the good old-fashioned way, just pummeling it down. And then we're going to do a top 5 search. We will play out the, I reveal a Satori. And now in this situation, I'm going to use Hiyori to put another card on top, another Denjiro, and then I'm going to pass the turn. So quick, okay, I was going to say, there was a play mistake there. I should have swung for probably 6 and 8 so that my character could not be KO'd by effects. But my Denjiro got bottom decked anyway. They swing for 7. Oh, guess what I put on top? Another Denjiro. They attack in. I get a Luffy trigger. We pop one of their characters. They play out a Miss All Sunday. That is a 3-cost. Guys, that Miss All Sunday, pause. That's why I'm looking through their trash right now. Oh, perfect. I paused it right where we need it. This is a 3-cost, 1,000 power, 1K counter blocker, okay? On KO, if your leader has the Baroque Works type, which theirs does, of course, return up to 1 event from your trash to your hand. Any event that you need, it can return it to your hand. That card is incredible as far as utility blockers go, and it has a counter. There's no downside to that card, guys. Okay, the only downside would be if you're not running events. Okay, But here we go. We still have a lot of things we can do here. I do have a red rock in my hand. I have a Jozu. I can do a lot of things. I can do a lot of tricks this turn if I need to. So I am taking a little while to consider this, guys, because, again, this is one of the first times I was playing the deck, and it has a lot of options. Like, I actually have a lot of options I can do here. I'm like, okay, let's attach 2 to the leader, because I would like to gain a life this turn, you know, or potentially gain a life this turn with an effect. Okay, so right here, we are going to play out the Jozu, bouncing the Hiyori, bouncing the 5-cost 7k back to their hand, a vanilla card. And then right here, we're going to swing for 6 into leader, and then 7 into leader, and then we're going to play out the Hiyori, setting our top life card. Okay, they take it. We're waiting for their trigger. No trigger. Very good. Hiyori. We'll set the top life card as Kikinojo, so we can get more value in that way. And it's not a counter in hand, so why not? Another option actually would have been Gravity Blade, or, Gum Gum Red Rock, because then I could have bottom decked the Miss All Sunday when he goes to attack in. But, you know, it wasn't... I like the Kikinojo play as well, because I can always just use Red Rock from my hand if needed. 7 into 6 here. No, I'm going to force him to give me more than that. We're going to do a 2k counter there. I'm going to force him to give me more. He has 7 Dawn open. Or no, he has 8 Dawn active, so I'm thinking he's going to gain a life this turn. I 2k counter out. Now I'm basically saying I dare you to gain a life, because I'm going to easily take it back this turn. Okay. Here we go. So now I do have a turn here where I can just Red Rock this Crocodile off the board. But is that the right call? And honestly, like, looking back, I don't think I do that. I think that would have been the right call. Just Red Rock the character off the board and go about things that way. Because now he gets to use the character's effect to draw 1, trash 1. However, that does put him on 9 Dawn next turn. So there was a little bit of, you know, how do I say it? You know, there was a little bit more to that play than anything. You know, it wasn't just a total waste of a play. So I'm going to swing for 8 and 7 here. Gives me a 2k, and then we'll bottom deck his big guy. We're still at 3 life, and guys, this deck can gain life. Like, this blue-yellow ace deck, so could the other ace deck. Like, there were ways you could play it to gain life, but this version's built all around life gain. Whew, 9 into 7, I don't think we're going to be saving that. Now he only has 3 Dawn left. Probably another, yeah, I was going to say probably another Miss All Sunday. And here we go. Right here, I think I do have to get through here. I have to trash that, cycle out a card. He gets to get a card back from his trash, but we're going to go 10 into 7 here. I have to. We have to get this card off the board. It's going to generate too much value. I need to slow him down. I have a full board. He doesn't. He does a 0-cost 3k. Gets a 2k to get out of it. Very nice. Very nice. And he does a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, probably on the 2 5-cost characters. I would have gotten rid of the Hiyori. I think it's more important than the Shirahoshi. So he attacks in, we get 2 triggers, and now this is a bad spot. So they go ahead and concede. The game was not over yet, but it was pretty much over. Let's just be honest, it was pretty much over. Because right here, I was going to go 7 into this guy. If he gives me the 2k, I'm going 7 more into him, and if not, I'm going 7 into face. Now, he would, at that point, be able to Red Rock my my character to the bottom of my deck if he chose to do that. But from there, you know, it's all downhill from there, because I could have played out a blocker. I could have played out another Kikinojo, Shirahoshi to draw cards. I had a lot of options, and I was not at jeopardy of losing the game on the next turn, like on the crackback. Okay, that was a fun one there. Really good game. Really good one to start. Next one, we got a game versus Red Purple Luffy. Let's go speed 2x. There we go. All right, here we go, guys. So, again, so this game I did not get the Sanji start. That's okay. He attacks in. I go ahead and KO his Nami with my Luffy, because that card's not going to have a ton of value in this matchup. So I look at my top 5 cards with the leader effect. I'm going to swing in for 7. He gives me a 2k counter. I'm going to go Viola, turn it face down. Now I have a blocker, and if he wants to attack into me, I'm probably not going to block the first attack, right? Because I can draw 3 trash too. Now I do 2k counter out because I don't want to take anything greedy. And look at this. He doesn't even play out a 5-cost character. So I know his hand is full of absolute monsters. So, okay, go back. Okay, so he passed the turn with 5 Dawn active. So that means he either has all 2Ks and a few bosses, or all bosses and maybe a few 2Ks. You know, or maybe some events, things like that, like Radical Beams, you name it. And I'm like, okay, well, he's got 6 cards in hand. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play out a Pudding, even though that card has almost no other value for the rest of the game. I wanted to get that value, you know, I wanted to make sure I got the value when I could. Okay, So then I swing in for 7 afterwards. Their turn, they play out the, what's his name? Draw 3. Okay. They play out the Bon Cray Bentham. Then they swing in for 6. I take it, draw 3, trash 2 with Shirahoshi. They play out the Queen afterwards. I hit him with another pudding. Guys, pudding is one of those cards that's just so annoying to deal with. Okay, I'm going to set the top card. Then I'm going to pull it back and put in another card in its place. I think it was a Kikanojo. It happened so fast I didn't even see it. And here we go. He's going to swing in for 7 at face. I have no big characters on the board for him to even attack with. That's the funny part. So then I get a Kikanojo down. Okay, he's going to swing for 8. I'm going to go ahead and block out of that. I want to keep my life relatively high against a deck like this. So we'll go 4 into 1. He lets it go. We don't care at all about that card. About the okay, he chose to lose a life. So okay, pause. So I just played out a 6-cost 7K Big Bomb, and that is part of the how do I say this? That's like one of the new cards coming out in OP0 8.5, October 25th for us in the West. And it has, so it's a 6-cost 7K. It does not have a counter, but it has on play, trash a card from your hand. Your opponent chooses to trash 2 cards from their hand or lose a life. So choosing to lose a life as Red Purple Luffy, that is kind of scary. And it was a 2K counter that he lost. So his hand must be stacked. So then I follow up with a 7K attack at the leader. He gives me a 1K counter. And let's see what he does here. Oh, I set a Denjiro to the top of my life. I'm going to set the Denjiro the right way so I don't lose it in a turn. And here we go. He's going to... Okay, this is a turn here. He's going to get big. He's going to come in for 9K and 9K more. I'm going to take this. No triggers. Never lucky. Never lucky. No, I'm just kidding. But he is at 9K. So right here, I'm going to swing 8 into 8 because that's a smaller target. It'll be easier for me to KO. So we'll just keep going in for 8s here. We're going to get every card out of his hand. Let's see what I choose to do here. Yep, swing in for 8. Again, we're just going to take every card from him. It's like, okay, well, now I know you're in top deck mode, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the card on the field, the Hiyori, and I'm going to do a top 2 arrangement there and set things the way I need them. Top deck's a pretty good card, I have to say. Top deck's a pretty good card, but it doesn't matter if he can't win this turn. The game is over if he cannot win this turn. He's going to swing in for 9. We'll give him a 2K, 3K, whatever it is, and our turn. So now, every turn we attack, or every single attack we push through, will go through because he has no cards in hand. So it's going to be swing 9. Okay. Then it's going to be swing 9. That's going to cost the cards from hand. So let's do the math real quick. So I had one more attack for 9 that was possible. Hang on, let me see something. Yeah, swing 9, and then it was swing 9. He would have had to use his blocker there, and then swing for 9 more with our ace. Now I will say this: if we didn't have, if he did get a counter there, we would have lost that game for sure. But I have to say too, I mean, that was kind of luck versus luck there, because who top decks a Edward Newgate as their one card they needed, and it almost bailed them out of like an unwinnable situation. Because remember, guys, we nerfed their hand twice with pudding. We went through 2 hands of getting, or 2 turns of just totally demolishing their hand, giving them random cards, and then we completely whittled them down to where they have 0 cards in hand, and they top deck a character that that was as big as Edward Newgate that just shuts down all of my attacks. So that was pretty lucky on my end, but it was pretty lucky on their end as well. Okay, we got one more game, guys. Got a game versus Vegapunk. Always fun to check out Vegapunk, right? Okay, let me go speed 2x real quick, because this is a pretty long game, guys. We're looking at a 20-minute long game. Oh, Vegapunk. This leader here, guys. So they're going to set the top card of their life turn 1 with Vega, and I don't agree with that at all. I think turn 1 you should be establishing a board. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe not always. I guess it does depend on your hand, but generally speaking, why not develop a character on the board that's going to be able to attack enemy next turn? And that kind of tells me they're trying to do more of a Starvo strategy, which is very intuitive of that leader, right? Like, it does make sense. We hit him with a pudding, completely ravage their hand. We swing in for 6, force the Shaka into play, and their turn. They get another Shaka. I'm not really too concerned about that card, to be honest, guys. The Shaka, it doesn't really bother me. The cards that annoy me are the KO cards, like what's her name, Nami and Luffy. Okay, swinging for 7 into 5. He gives me the blocker there. We're going to do a top 5 search. Whiff the top 5 search, unfortunate, which is very rare in this list, guys. It is hard to whiff a top 5 search in this list. So we're still going to set Denjiro there. We're going to swing for 7 with Nami. See what they give us. They'll probably take it, play out the Shaka. Yep, makes sense. And now it's our opponent's turn. They still have a lot of cards in hand, even though we've hit them with a pudding. You know, they're still doing just fine over there. Let's see what they get. They play out a Lilith to their life. Interesting. I think they should have just played the Lilith for 3 personally, but that's just me. That's just me. They play out Dureshi here. They're going to do a top 5 search for 2 cards with trigger. We'll see what he gets. Just waiting on our opponent here. Vegapunk is a very interesting deck. Okay, I couldn't imagine that being the right play, but hey, you can have my pudding, right? You can have the pudding. We knew Denjiro was on top. We set it there. So now he's probably just going to pass. Yep, passing is the right call. And guys, it turns out the 6-cost 7K Big Mom is actually pretty good in this matchup, I think, right? Because it's very annoying for them to deal with. We push a card back to hand. We're going to swing for 7 into Lilith. They choose not to take it. We'll swing 6 more into Lilith. You have to keep their life down, guys. I know it seems like, why am I attacking? You're giving them a body. That's fine. They can have the body. I just can't let them start gaining life like crazy where I have no chance. And yep, they are going to get some value with Yamato. Seems good. Man, they should have used their leader effect first and then used the Yamato to KO my character. But at the same time, that was my fault for not putting 2 on my character. That was a play mistake, because then he would not have been able to be KO'd by effects anyway. So a play mistake for a play mistake. We'll take it. We'll take it. 7 into the Lilith. I've got 2 7K attacks coming in here. Yeah, or actually just swing 6. Interesting. Let's see. I don't remember what I have in store here. What play I have worked out. Okay, going to set the Nami on top, and now we will rearrange it. Putting in the Denjiro. We're pulling a quick one on him. Then we're going to play out the Jozu, pulling back the 2K counter, bouncing the card out of our way. What was it? Was it a Shaka? Hang on a second. Yeah, pushing the Shaka out of the way. Guys, Jozu in this deck is very, very tough. He is strong. He is very strong in this deck. Bouncing back your 2K counters or your blockers to regain life cards and set cards with your life, it's pretty good, guys. This version is really cool. All right, so they what did they KO? They KO'd the Denjiro because I didn't have 2 Dawn on him, unfortunately. Not a big deal. We're going to keep smashing in, guys. Smash in for 7. Smash in for 7. I'm trying to force them to swing in with their Yamatos because I'll just start eating those up if I have to. Okay, they go 2K. Did they just go 3 1Ks? I'm a little confused. I think they just went 1K, 1K, 1K. Okay, so I'll have 8 Dawn left. Attach 2 to the leader. Swing 7 into 6. See what he does. This is a good way to get cards out of my opponent's hand. So I'm not too upset about this either, right? They give me a 1K. So they're out of 2Ks. They're just giving me flat 1Ks right now to answer. And it seems bad. It seems really bad for them. Okay, so we'll put a Denjiro on top. We'll play out the Viola. We're going to force it down, or force it face down. Then we're going to Red Rock one of these Yamatos away. And I'm basically telling them, hey, man, you can't just... I'm not going to let you just build a board all the way across with all these 9 cost and 8 cost characters and 10 cost characters. You're going to have to swing at some point, and then I'm going to, eventually get rid of all of your big characters, and then that's going to be game. Okay, he plays out a Charlotte Linlin. Hey, he beat me to the punch, man. That was the card I wanted to do. So I trashed my top life card because I don't want to get rid of any of the cards in my hand. I valued my hand size right now over life because I can gain life next turn if I need to. 11 into 7. Nope, you're not allowed to have that. We're not going to let you have that. Okay, so right here, we're going to trash a card from hand. I think there was a sequencing issue. No, there wasn't. Never mind. But right here, we are going to start, we're going to start bashing in here. We're going to swing in for 7. See what they do. Swing in for 8. Honestly, I think I should use the leader effect here. We'll see what happens, though. So 2K, 1K, 1K. Yeah, top 5 search with my leader. Going to put a... I have to pick a 5-cost card, so it's either the Nami or the Satori. We'll play out the Hiyori, pulling back the Nami, pulling back the Satori, and then replaying it. I do have 1 target on the board for him to hit right now, and there's definitely an argument. I could have played out my 6-cost 7K Charlotte Linlin there. I think that would have been a good decision as well, but I am still learning the list, guys. I hate to make excuses, but there were quite a few options we could have done. So this guy got every single Yamato in the entire deck. He's on his 3rd Yamato, 3 out of 4 at least. Okay, so he takes out my my Jozu and then does not attack. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. I'll trash this Denjiro. We'll make you trash a card. And we'll see what we do here. We'll swing 9 into 7. If he lets this go, yeah, if he does not let it go, I would swing him with Jozu. If he does not let that one go, I would have swung him with Jozu for sure. Excuse me, guys. My allergies, like I said, my nose is running a little bit today. Feeling much better from yesterday, though. I will say that. I'm feeling a lot better since yesterday. So they swing in for 9. I'm like, take it, take it, take it. That Denjiro's been there for a while, guys. I'm pretty sure we knew about that Denjiro a while ago. Okay, then he throws Charlotte Linland back to the bottom of my life. Whatever. Sure, fine. Never lucky. No, I'm just kidding. You know, that's fine. So here we go. They have 1 card in hand. I think it's time to go for their board. Yeah. And once I go for this board, that is it. Once I go for this board, guys, it is all over for them because there's not really any way for them to get these big characters back. You see what I'm saying? And oftentimes Vegapunk depends on these large characters and you not being able to deal with them. Well, okay, there goes his whole board, right? And then I'm going to play out this this Portgosty Ace here. I'm going to look at the top cards. I'm actually going to keep these on there. I put those back in that order. I put Kikinojo, then Jozu for next turn. And now I think, yep, my opponent's turn. I do not swing in with my other characters. I'm going to try to wipe him out next turn. Next turn, I'm going to try to wipe my opponent out. I let him take 1 hit there for sure because I need a clear spot on the board for my Jozu. Swinging for 8 will absolutely take that. We need to start drawing cards back, and here we go. Now, here's the other thing. I could just eat this board up, right? So this should be fun. I could just completely eat his board here, and that's what I'm going to go for. So swing 8 into 8, and now what? Right? I mean, like, what is my opponent supposed to do at this point? Vegapunk is very close to being something incredible, and I'll tell you what, if I could not gain life as much as this deck can, the Ace deck, Blue-Yellow Ace can, we probably would have been in trouble. Okay, they're going to probably play out the Shaka. Oh, they chose not to play out the Shaka, huh? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to trash this 2K counter. You know it's in my hand. Now you have to lose life from that, and it is... That's a wrap, guys. There's no way out of this one. Because remember, the leader can't attack. Vegapunk cannot attack. He does hit Raigo on my blocker. He sets a blocker to the top of his life. I still have the Jozu in my hand. There is no way to get out of this, right? He does a Dareshi. Dareshi's pretty good, not going to lie. Now, we knew that was going to be a Kikinojo because we said it there. And here we go, guys. It's time to just start swinging in. Yep, swing in for 7. Now we're going to play out the Jozu, bouncing our Hiyori 2K counter back to our hand, bouncing that card back to their life. Swing for 7. They have to get out of this one. They absolutely have to get out of this one, right? Okay, 2K, 1K, all right? And then we're going to swing for 6, and then we're going to swing for 7. All right, they did get a Shaka, but that's okay. We're going to swing for 7. That's going to take the Shaka. Your turn. Now what? Right, we're in a very good position now to win this game, to close this out. Okay, Raigo's not bad, and they're going to gain a life. Very, very annoying leader. Very annoying leader. But that's okay. We're going to swing for, let's swing for, I would swing for 7. Yeah, I kind of did the math out on the board there. We're going to swing for 7. They're going to get a Shaka or a Snake, or it could have been a, what's her name? It could have been a Nami. Well, it didn't matter. Either way, the next attack was going to go through. GG, that Vegapunk player put up a very good fight. That was a fun one to watch there. Okay, now let's check out the list. So this list is not my creation. It was actually this person here, Lugh OPTCG, Lugh _ OPTCG. So big shout out to Lugh. Hopefully I'm saying that. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. I have no idea. It could be Lugh, but I would assume it's Lugh. Lugh kind of gives me the Lugh vibe, if that makes sense. But yeah, one of my buddies in the channel, Con TCG, was like, Vivi, you have got to check out this Blue-Yellow Ace deck. I just played against it like 5 times. This guy came up with a really, really incredible idea for Blue-Yellow Ace. You've got to feature it on your channel if you get a chance. And I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. I didn't give any promises. I was like, I'll see what I can do. I'll check it out. And guys, I tried it out, and it is really cool because it's not running. So for those who are not familiar with Blue-Yellow Ace, typically it's trying to play out the 5-cost Luffy or the 5-cost Ace, and and maybe even the 5-cost Sabo in some situations, where it's trying to play out the 5-cost 3 brothers and get benefits from them with the 2-cost. Let me just type in Goa with these 3 cards here. And there's a whole setup for that, right? Because you can also go Garp and go about things that way, where you can start searching up what you need to and just getting everything the way you need it. But I like this version even better. I don't know if it is literally better. I don't know which version is technically better. And by the way, I made no revisions. The guy sent me the list because, the guy, like I said, my buddy Khan, he has his own channel. I'll try to link his channel as well down in the comment section below. He goes, bro, you got to check out this list. Yeah, I played against it. This guy really came out with an incredible list. It is refined. It is fine-tuned. It looks good. And it plays good. So this list you see here, guys, is completely that person's creation. And I have to say, it was pretty solid. I was a big fan. A few changes I would make personally to it now that we've kind of looked at it. Actually, let me run through the list real quick, and then I'll talk about that. 4 Pudding, 2 of the blue blocker Ace, 4 Jozu, 3 Viola, 3 Sanji, 4 Shirahoshi, 4 Satori, 4 Kikinojo, 4 Hiyori, 4 Denjiro, 3 Luffy, 4 Nami, 2 Charlotte Lin the 6th Lin, 3 Red Rock, and 2 Snake Dance. I did not ever play the Snake Dance one time, and I must have put in about like 9 or 10 games with it. Who knows? Maybe I wasn't playing it correctly, and I'll be the first one to say, like, hey guys, this was my first time playing it, and this was a very technical, very high-level deck to play, to pilot. Very fun, might I add. Very fun deck list to play. But I didn't have much use for the Snake Dance, and I would prefer this had just been another 2K counter with Sanji, and then maybe for the last one, maybe put in another, just some kind of trigger, because we don't want to lose too many triggers to balance out the Nami. Maybe even a Bonnie. I don't know, something weird like Bonnie would have been interesting, and then we would have been drawing cards like crazy, like absolute crazy. But yeah, that was the one thing I wasn't like a huge fan of, was the Snake Dance. Everything else made sense, and I just, like I said, once I actually started playing with the Sanji on turn 1, like it wasn't even a 2K counter, even though it is a 2K counter for later in the game. It's like once I started playing it as like a turn 1 play going second, incredible. Because then it's like on the next turn for a 4-dawn turn, like yes, you can develop something like a Kikinojo or play out a Pudding to mess up their hand, or you could swing for attach 2 to your leader, setting your top life card to a 5-cost card, and then then attach 2 to Sanji, swinging for 5. Taking that top life card, refilling it face down, so now it's not going anywhere at the end of turn. Because read what this does, guys. Read what this card does. Excuse me. And then you'll swing for 7 with your leader. So you just swung for 5, swung for 7, gained a life, and drew a card. It ends up being like a very, very powerful combo and synergy there. Really cool stuff. The Jozu, awesome. Like when the games go long, when the games run long, it is going to be hard to beat a deck like this, bouncing back 6-cost characters every turn. And you're not just bouncing back, random searchers or anything. I mean, searchers are good to bounce back too. But, like, you're actually bouncing back 2K counters. Like, where is she? Like Hiyori. You're bouncing back your Hiyoris. You're bouncing back your Violas if you need to. Where did Viola go? You can bounce back your Violas. You can bounce back whatever you need to. But, the Jozu ends up being very strong, especially, with the Hiyori. Okay, that's about it, though, guys. This was the list. This was a lot of fun. So big shout out to Lugh, OPTCG, and Khan TCG. Because here's the funny part. Khan's the one who mentioned it to me. Then he told the guy to join the channel. I guess they were just chatting in on the sim. And he was like, hey man, my buddy, the VV Theory, I bet he'd really like to see your the list you're running here. He likes to showcase lists like this, and Khan was right. He knew me well. And the guy hopped on Discord, said, hey man, I talked to Khan, here's the list. So big shout out to both of you guys, to Lugh and Khan. Thank you guys so much for showing off a really cool list. This almost worked as like a community spotlight video for checking out this really awesome version of Ace. Because guys, most versions of Ace, I'll show you, they look more like this. I mean, mine's not exactly, mine's a little bit different. But let me see, I think this is the most recent one I messed with. Yeah, a lot of versions look like this, guys, where you've got the 2-cost guys like this and this. Viola's still a decent card in there, of course, but it's running the 5-cost 3 brothers, like the Ace, the Luffys, and the Sabos, and then lots of searchers for it. And it can feel very inconsistent when you're not just like, when you're having to search up certain specific things. Some need to be 2-cost, some need to be 5-cost. Leaders pulling out the 5-cost, the little searchers are pulling out the 2-cost. It becomes a headache, right? But the version we just looked at, I think I called it, what did I call it? Ace. Here it is. This version doesn't care about the extra step. Like, we don't have any little searchers to worry about. We're just going to put a 5-cost card on top of our life. So you do have to take an idea of like the ratios in the deck, guys. It looks like it's running 4, 8, 11, 13, plus 8's 21. So it looks like it's running about 21 5-cost characters. And that ends up being like a pretty good ratio. I think I only whiffed the search like one time in all of my play testing, maybe twice. But guys, I feel like when I'm running my other list, I feel like I whiff all the time. It's hard to explain it. That just has to do with numbers and with ratios. But still, guys, this was a blast. This was a lot of fun to play. Against certain matchups, this card was very strong. And against others, it was not as much. So this is, by the way, notice this list, guys. I had to play it in the OP09 meta on the sim because of this card. So if you remove this one card, you can play this in OP07, or excuse me, in OP08. And that's that. You know, it's completely legal. And soon, going into OP08.5, this will be legal in the way it is currently. So really cool stuff, something to look out for. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. All right, now, finally, for the last part of the video, we do have to head over to the art critique. Okay, we have got an art critique here. I've not done one in a while. We've got the 10-cost, 12,000 power Shanks from OP09. This is the parallel alt-art version of this character. Now, I couldn't remember if I had done this. So that's one thing that's kind of getting me right now, guys. I can't remember all the cards that I've done in the art watch or in the art critiques. So that's kind of playing with me. I'll have to look through those eventually and make a list so I don't double up on them. But whatever the case is, I think I mentioned I wanted to look at this in an art critique, but never ended up doing it. So let's go ahead and analyze this one real quick, guys. So first things first, the centerpiece of this entire composition is Shanks. Shanks is in the middle. Notice the collar. Okay, I got to pop my collar today too. I got to look like Shanks. Got to look real cool here. Okay, I've got this little baby collar, but he has got this Mac Daddy beast mode collar, right? This collar looks incredible. Look at that, guys. And notice in the background, this looks very organic in the background. Like, notice this. This is his cape. Okay, at least that's the way it appears. Because notice how his cloak or his cape, it goes down to like right here. And then it starts going up into the background. And this entire background is like parts of his cape, which is really interesting, right? That's a... What better way to silhouette your character naturally than with his own garments like this, with his own cape? This does a lot for the artist. It does have to be said. It's like, okay, if I do this, I can totally omit the background, or at least to some extent, because notice all the way back here, you can see the background ever so slightly. It's almost like a cheat code for artists to like get rid of the background. They can just, oh, we'll just do it like this, where we'll push the cape up where it totally blocks the background, and that's something I don't have to worry about now. Now, in the foreground, this is actually very interesting. It looks like he's on a pile of treasure. Is that what's going on here, guys? For the people who actually watch the anime or read the manga, you would know more about this scene than I would. But it looks like he's just sitting on piles of treasure. And like a treasure chest here, a treasure chest here. And yeah. Okay, one technique that they chose to do, and this does have to do more with like the artist plus Bandai. I love how they chose to push this sword into the foreground. And why do I say it's the artist plus Bandai? Because think about it, guys. The artist will just give them the picture to put on their card, and it's made to certain specs and certain dimensions and whatnot. And then that card has to be mass-produced. And notice the border, typically speaking, or I mean, I don't know. I'll have to ask around, but I would imagine that the border gets put on afterwards. I would imagine that the border gets put on after the artist turns in their piece. Well, in this case right here, the border was done absolutely brilliantly, where they allowed the hockey bolts to go through past into the foreground of the border. The same thing with the sword, like I was saying, but not with the feet. Notice that. See, it was done in a very specific way, in a very well done way. It's done very nicely. Hard to explain, but it looks really, really good. Now, I've said this before as well. I have talked about this artist here. It's hard to see his name. Gosh, I can't even see it at all because of the pixelation. I think it's like Mushitaro or Mushimaro. Whatever this artist's name is, I do apologize, guys. I literally just can't read it because of the pixelation. But this artist does such an incredible job with the hockey. It's unlike what I've seen with some of the other representations of hockey, and I love it so much more in this way because it's almost like a blood splatter just coming off the page, right? It's just an explosion of red energy and like almost like blood, like I said, just pushing out into our area, the viewers area. Really good stuff. There is, of course, the classic triangle. You know, the triangle of I was going to say of solidarity, but I don't think that makes sense. It's hard to explain. But notice right here, guys. Let me put it in a green. it's always there to just center a piece and just like to make it stronger. Oh no, I let go of it. I did not mean to let go of it like that. I hadn't made it 3D yet, so I couldn't manipulate it. Let me just make it 3D now. So here's what I was talking about, like where you have this. Now this is not exact. I would actually have to draw this one out. Let me show you guys. Actually, what if I rotate it? Is that what it is? Yeah, there it is. Okay, you almost have to rotate it a little bit, but there's like this little triangle here that pushes. It grounds the character. That's what I mean. Like it's the triangle of solidity. Like it just makes I just made that word up. I don't know if that's a real word or not. Don't quote me. But it just makes the entire piece solid. It makes it strong. And it's not something that an artist will typically like think like, okay, I'm going to make a triangle shape right here. It's just something that happens naturally, subliminally, or maybe some of it's even just by chance, right? Maybe it's just more of a natural thing. But either way, looks incredible. I'm done yapping about this. Hope you guys enjoyed. All right, I'm done. Let me go ahead and bring up I almost forgot to bring up the playmat page. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel, guys, whether you're liking my videos, subscribing, viewing, sharing, commenting. If you're doing anything like that, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. A big thanks to everybody who bought the playmat, the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Hope you guys are enjoying that. And then last but not least, the patrons. Thank you guys so much. Whoops, got to bring my head down here. There we go. Big shout out to the VV Pirates patron page here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel the ways y'all do. Just donating to help out the cause. I really do appreciate it. All right, I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.